Fort Myers Police, Lee County Sheriff Deputy implicated in corruption, documents show. Cody Delaney, C. Delaney at news-press.com, published 1:09 p.m. Eastern Time, October 13, 2017. Members of the Fort Myers Police Department are under criminal investigation following corruption allegations. Documents released to the news press late Thursday confirmed that the United States Attorney's Office for the Middle District, along with federal law enforcement agencies, are trying to get to the bottom of allegations coming out of the Free Report, a scathing 72-page report released in February. And those documents, known as Appendix A and Appendix B, also implicate at least one deputy from the Lee County Sheriff's Office with alleged corruption. The Free Report confirmed heavy-handed policing in the city's minority communities, and revealed allegations of officers tipping off drug dealers to impending search warrants. It was based on anonymous interviews between Fort Myers police officers and members of Free Group International Solutions, a Delaware-based consulting firm. The city hired the Free Group after a news press investigation revealed a toxic culture within the department. More, police corruption, toxic culture detailed in FMPD audit. As part of that report, the Free Group created Appendices A and B and never released them to the public. Appendix A outlines the corruption and botched internal affairs investigations, while Appendix B deals with a drug trafficking ring that was operating with near impunity, even killing witnesses. The news press fought nearly 8 months for their release, initially going through the Free Group and later involving a lawyer to compel the city to release them. Though heavily censored, they shed more light on the allegations of police corruption and a drug ring with free rein. There are 4 references to drug trafficking, 2 references to officers leaking information and 6 references to murder, including potential witnesses and arranged hits. And an FMPD supervisor allegedly offered protection to an unknown person. Fort Myers Police Chief Derek Diggs declined to comment. A potential witness was murdered, Appendix A says. In between blacked out text on Appendix B, it says, arranged for murder. During this period of time, directed to murder, was subsequently murdered, Appendix B says in between blacked out text. More, Fort Myers Police kept accreditation despite misleading annual reports. The reports also refer to an LCSO deputy twice, but it's unclear whether it's the same person. It was reported that, sell narcotics under the protection of a deputy, Appendix B says. In another area, it reads, reported that the deputy allowed, to use an LCSO vehicle to transport the narcotics. At this time, we have no knowledge or reason to believe that any deputy is under investigation for anything related to the matters encompassed by the Free Report, an LCSO spokeswoman said in an email. Lee County Sheriff Mike Scott declined to comment any further. It's unclear which FMPD officers are under criminal investigation, but personnel records show the following members were placed on paid administrative leave the same day the Free Report was released. Officer Jason Jackson, Captain Melvin Perry and Sergeants Michael Forbes and Rick Notaro, who has since retired from the department. Assistant United States Attorney Rachel DeVaux Bedker wrote a letter dated October 10 arguing against the full release of the appendices. Public disclosure of Appendices A and B would seriously jeopardize the investigation and potentially endanger the safety of witnesses and law enforcement officers.
It was truly a privilege to do this engagement and be retained by the city of Fort Myers to look into the police department. We were brought in by the city with no strictures placed on us. We were given unfettered access to the department and all its members. This report was not to zero in on the good things the police department does, that they do on a daily basis. It was a critical evaluation. It was to look at the bad things. So not only did they ask us to do an evaluation, but they wanted us to zero in on the things that were not working right, or the perception was they were not working right. We were tasked by the city to identify impediments to addressing crime within the city of Fort Myers, and more specifically within the Dunbar community. there was a buyout in 2008, and there's realities of life. And the realities of life is a police department or any municipal agency is funded by public monies. But when that buyout occurred, the city lost a great deal of very experienced officers. And you just don't replace that overnight. And that was a problem. And then when the budgetary problems persist and you cannot replace officers, and the officers continue to operate on a lower level in terms of numbers, their job is harder. So that officer who responds to something on the street where it would have been better to spend more time has to immediately leave that call to go to another call. And so the public then feels they're not getting the proper attention because at that call, maybe they needed that officer longer, and the public's right. But the officer had to move on to another call, and the officer is right. So there are issues when you're not properly staffed. And that's something the city is committed to address. Another one is there is a real thought within the department that preferential treatment permeated the entire organization. In other words, the great majority, if not almost every single person we interviewed, said there was a cliquish system within the department. You either were in or you were out. And many of them really felt that was a problem, as do we. But in any small organization, you're going to have that. One thing that was felt was so many of the supervisors come out of the same group, the narcotics section, and then move their way through. Another issue was the failure to address certain integrity issues. We did, through our interviews, learn that there were some integrity issues within the department. That does occur, and that is something, when it occurs, must be dealt with. The way it was dealt with historically was to not deal with it. That cannot happen. That is something that needs to be addressed one way or the other. Again, the current administration, the chief, is committed to dealing with those issues and dealing with them heads on. There's no other way. You must understand that if you don't deal with them, your department is isolated, which in very many ways has happened from other law enforcement entities in the area. They lack sufficient physical space, and this goes to support staff as well. You know, crime scene technicians, we run through it in a report. There's a lot of inadequate spacing. And as we mentioned, a lot of this is historical and has been going on for years, and they've been making do. Eventually, to do the job right, you need the proper resources. Our recommendations that we've made in the report, and we've made a number of them, we tiered and made a tiered approach to them. The reason for that is we wanted to put different levels. Tier 1 are recommendations that we believe the city must institute immediately because it affects the safety of the citizens of Fort Myers. So that has to be done right now. An example, the communications division. Historically, that section has been tremendously understaffed. And the fear is from within the police department, and again, much of what we learned comes from the police department. The fear was that someone could get hurt or worse if they don't adequately respond to the 911 calls. And that's something that the city jumped on. So we've got 4 tiers. Tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then tier 4, to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, are going to be those things that, such as, can the city afford a new building? Or can the city renovate that building? Or provide other places or locations that might supplement the existing space? Because like anything else, they're running out of space, and that's something that the city is looking into. So that is important and essential, but not as timely as something like responding to 911 calls.
The action steps that are recommended will be acted upon immediately. Some of the things I want to bring out to you. Our number one priority at all times is safety of our citizens. To that end, we have hired 4 new staff members in the communication section to enhance the response time for our officers. We've invested in 142 brand new body cameras that are going to be used by the department that we're starting to deploy this week. Since my appointment, we have already hired 8 new police officers. We have begun a search for a full-time public information officer. Training practices and procedures need to be brought up to date. We have already embarked upon a strategic training and education program to educate our officers and give them the tools they need to do their job. Substations. We have already started looking at several substations before the report was issued, and that we put a substation in the Dunbar community area, which we will do. Overall, we have improved the safety of our citizens in our neighborhoods, and we will continue to do so.
It's interesting to see how little a difference there is between so many of the police officers' views and people in the community, and how they share a common concern, and yet there's been tensions and there's been problems like anywhere else. And the goal here is to make the department as good as it can be, to let the public know that the department's there to serve them, and try to meld those interests. And that's what the city is committed to doing.
Need a car? Don't forget to stop by carmarshal.com, where you can scout through over 100,000 new and used car vehicles. Take a look around. Get you a new affordable car. carmarshal.com.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts. 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal, and there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. It is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that, but when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that dream, everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know what, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just, unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that, that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that, that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that, that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now, where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran in, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran in, no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.